so my dough has been proofing for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, a little bit long, but it's ready to be baked now, which is exciting. So I have a sheet of parchment paper here. You can also use cornmeal and sprinkle it in the bottom of a Dutch oven or pizza stone, whatever you're cooking on. So I'm gonna flip this over. And see how pretty that is? And now I have a bread lawn right here. It's basically a razor blade on a stick. And I am going to make some slits in the top of the sourdough to make sure that the steam can release and it doesn't just bust out the sides when it's baking. You can get really fancy with it. For now, I'm just going to make a couple slits. Sometimes I like to decorate it with different kinds of leaves and all kinds of fun, fancy things, but right now we're kind of doing the basics. So my oven has been preheating at 450 with my Dutch oven in it, so it's really, really hot to the touch. So I'm gonna put my sourdough in here. I'm gonna put the lid on top, and I'm going to put it in the oven and bake that for about 20 to 25 minutes. You might want to keep an eye on it. This is a bigger loaf, so I would probably do closer to 25. And then remove it from the oven, take the lid off, put it back in for another probably 20 to 25 minutes. Keep an eye on it. I bake it for a little bit less time because I don't like a really, really hard crust, because I also use it for sandwich bread and things like that for my kids. This is my loaf. I just pulled it out of the oven. I baked it for 25 minutes with the lid on, and then 25 minutes with the lid off, and it is gorgeous. It's like perfect. I don't darken mine, so I bake it a little bit, probably a little bit less time than most people do, because I like to use it for sandwich bread, which I've mentioned before, but it's still really nice, and it has a good hollow sound on the bottom, and it is just perfect, and it's going to be delicious, and I'm really excited about this. So with this loaf, I'm gonna let it cool, actually probably overnight. I'm just gonna throw a flour sack towel around it, but you wanna typically wait at least an hour, I would say an hour minimum, to let it start to cool, because otherwise if you cut into it too early, the ends might look nice or they might taste okay, but then the middle starts to squish. I don't know how else to describe it, but it really, it just gets kind of mushy. It's almost like it's still baking, and if you let it fully cool before cutting into it, if you can wait that long, then you'll have a much better product. This is the next morning. I just cut into it. It's really, really beautiful.